There are those who would like to see you fail in your journey. That's not going to happen on my watch. Let's go.
Can we stop for ice cream, Bart? Can we stop for ice cream? Oh, it's the Max! Ho 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 ho! The Portland Light Rail System, the Max, and that's what it actually looks like. How sweet! So into May, June, July, and now we're into August, so...
That was the longest night of my life.
Welcome to American Truck Simulator. I'm Simulator Dirk, and we are back in the truck. We're in San Diego, and today we're going to Tijuana. So, slightly different from normal. I'll explain why. We'll get on the road, and then we'll explain why we're actually going to Tijuana. We're in a nice looking Volvo. Oh no, am I stuck already? We'll go this way.
That was the longest night of my life.
Gee, Morgan, you're getting in early. Anywho, that was our navigator, Mr. Morgan Freeman, or the simulated version of Mr. Morgan Freeman. We are in San Diego, and we are heading to Tijuana. Now, I have downloaded from the American Truck Simulator store via Steam all of the maps that that are available that I hadn't had downloaded yet, such as Utah, Idaho, Washington State, etc. But what I've also done, I've gone down the mod route. Now, on the last couple of episodes, we had the Morgan Freeman mod. We had a couple of other mods as well. But this time, we've gone for a massive amount of map mods.
In 0.1 miles, turn left.
Thanks, Morgan.
Turn left.
So now, if we have a look on the map, which we'll do at a later point when we get to this job in Tijuana, we can now go into Mexico. We can go basically coast to coast in the United States, and we can also go into Canada. There's been a whole list of map mods that have enabled that to happen.
In 0.1 miles, turn left. Turn left.
So we will see how we go as we try to go coast to coast. So we have, this is a new profile, so basically we're starting at short jobs again and then working our way forward. Oh, there's the California Highway Patrol, the CHP. As a result, with the exception of the Mr. Morgan Freeman voice mod that you can hear that is working, a lot of the other ones I've disabled on this profile. So the map mods will work fine. I don't want to risk other things wrecking the map mods. The voice seems to be okay. If not, I'd just have to go back to Skynet that I'm using in Euro and Japan truck simulators respectively. But considering that I have used the voice of simulated Mr. Morgan Freeman and the fact that it's working, well, we'll keep it. It's Monday morning, just before 10:30. Only got a short load across to Tijuana. 18 miles away, 50 minutes of driving.
Continue straight.
Fatigue won't be an issue, fuel won't be an issue. So we will continue onwards. We've got a load of vegetables on board, heading for Mexico in our nice looking Volvo truck. So lots more adventures coming on.
0.1 miles. Turn left.
So a lot more adventures coming up on Simulator Dirk. Just watch for the light. Yeah, I made it. Just. Oh, this is a lot easier. I've been doing a few episodes of Fernbus Coach Simulator, and the ease of making these turns compared to in that particular one is there's huge differences. So glad to be back in the truck. Yeah, I have got a sat nav in this. I might turn the mirrors off in a sec, and also the extra sat nav now that I know that everything's working okay. I'll do that at the next set of lights. So leaving San Diego, heading for Mexico. Now, of course, I could put all the other mods back in.
0.1 miles. Turn left.
Leaving San Diego. To make things turn left. Our people, if there are any Californians watching who have been in the San Diego area, you'd probably be looking at this traffic and thinking, where's all the traffic? There's some more police. That better not be the Mexico border. Oh, hang on. We are entering Mexico. Can I stop? I shouldn't really stop there, but how often do you get to see that? So we are now going international with American Truck Simulator, entering Mexico. There's the Mexican flag. See if there's an actual checkpoint. So welcome to Baja California. So we are going to Mexico. Do I have to change the title to North American Truck Simulator now? You boys like Mexico? I was expecting at least some toll gates. Tijuana discovered. To be sort of like a now coming into Tijuana, and we'll
continue straight.
So Tijuana Centro. Oh, the signs are in Spanish. That's awesome. Alto, stop. I've been to Mexico once. I had a holiday romance with a Mexican lady. I've been to Spain. I know a little bit of... I'm actually better in written Spanish than I am in spoken Spanish, because there's a lot of Spanish words that are simply the English word with the letter O ended at the end. I've turned down the wrong street.
That was the longest night of my life.
Oh, gee, Morgan, you've been with me 10 minutes and you want to get out already.
And pin, turn right.
I can go this way, that's fine.
Turn right.
Yeah, I was expecting some sort of border crossing, but that was... Hey, it does... You know, just
In
a...
0.1 miles, turn right.
It's just the little things like having the signs in the correct language. It'd be so easy just for them to put stop. So we're in Mexico. So we'll deliver our first load. So from what I can gather, you just can't go plonk yourself somewhere on the map that you haven't discovered yet.
1 miles, turn right. Turn right.
Alrighty, we have arrived at our destination in Tijuana.
You've arrived. It's been my honor and duty to see you through this mission.
Okay, thanks Morgan. Alright, so we'll just drop our trailer off. 21 miles, an hour 7 in game time. And we have completed that delivery rather easily. New profile, so starting again from level 0, just so it didn't possibly corrupt. 3 is the wind. So maybe I had to complete 1. And then maybe I can go somewhere else, who knows. But I do want to go across... Oh, hang on, here's our new headquarters. So we just have to go job to job at the moment. That's fine. Let's go to our job market. Quick job. We'll sort... It's like there's 4 pages of jobs. We'll sort by origin. So we're in Tijuana. So I want to make this slightly realistic. So I want to go from Tijuana. See what our options are. Tijuana, they're all... Oh, heading in the general direction of Arizona could be okay. Let me see. Well, that's a Mexican route full of tires, so we'll do that. So I've got a load of tires. Heading to Caholia. And we'll see how we go on this trip as we head out.
There are those who would like to see you fail in your journey. That's not going to happen on my watch. Let's go.
So just after 11 a.m. Monday, we're expected Monday afternoon, 6 hours and 31 minutes. We're in at Kenworth this time. I'll get rid of those mirrors and also the... Alrighty. Let's get out of here, Morgan. In our Kenworth, we'll straighten up and then we'll have a look at our truck. When we get out to near the street. Oh, this is so much easier compared to Fernbus for turning a big, and it's a bigger truck. And it's so much easier. Yeah, it could...
0.1 miles. Turn right. Turn right.
It could be argued that I'm more used to American Truck Sim, but... Alright, let's have a quick look at our truck from the outside. From the outside, here we go. Alright, it's our good looking Kenworth. Alright, let's get in the truck. Let's get out of here. So, having voice navigation so much easier.
Continue straight.
Having voice navigation is so much easier rather than just relying on the actual map. Yeah, the map's good, but having the voice is a lot better. Okay, let's go.
In 0.1 miles, turn left. Turn left.
You know, I could have things like the real bus companies mod or whatever, but for the possible, so I don't possibly break any of the maps, I'll just keep it to stock standard. So let's go. Big wide highway, this one. Oh, you idiot! Couldn't see that I was trying to turn. Just crashed straight into me. Jesus. Made absolutely zero effort not to hit me.
Keep right. And then turn right.
Turn right. We're heading back to the US border, are we? Now I could turn right on red, but knowing this game, I'll probably get busted for a red light camera, so I'm not going to. Not going to worry. It really annoys me. Like you're slow because you got your indicator on to go left in that instance. Like if I was going to go straight, I'd be going straight ahead and I'd be going at speed. So that's annoying. That's really annoying. And the stupid thing is, he'd be a lot worse off than me at the speed in real life. The way he hit me, my truck probably wouldn't have felt a thing in reality compared to what that car would have felt. So we are heading back across the. Oh, we got checkpoints here. So we're heading into the US. I did go to Mexico. Alright, what's going on? Alright. Do I need to press tab or something? I didn't know it was going to be a cash lane. We're trying to get into the United States of America. Now, because it's a mod, who knows what's going to happen. Let's go backwards. Have I got anybody behind me? Yeah, as it turns out, I do. Alright, we're going to go smoking the bandit style here. Let's get in the truck. Get in the truck. Let's go. Oh! That's not good. Now, I'm well and truly screwed here. Still got people behind me. I can't get out. Getting out of the truck does nothing in this game. It's a pretty weak horn, honestly. Well, this came to a sudden halt. We're going to have to reset things and come back in just a few moments. In the meantime, let's get a bit of a slice of life thing happening here on Simulated Earth. We'll be back in just a few moments. Alrighty, we are back in our truck at the US-Mexico border. Let's see if we can get out of the situation we're in. No, the gate is still down. Have I got somebody behind me? No, I haven't. There's concrete barriers everywhere. I should be doing this from in cab, but I don't want to be here all afternoon. And also don't want to jackknife myself. This is highly suspicious. Straighten up. He can go. Why can't I go? I've already tried to ram the barrier. That doesn't work. This isn't good. Mr. Morgan Freeman, why aren't you helping me out here? This is stupid. I can't reverse a truck straight to save my life. You know, I might as well just hand myself over to Customs and Border Protection now. This is stupid. Oh, those ones are working. Alright, I got my wheels perfectly straight. How much further have I got to get back? Got ages before I get back. Maybe if I could just come back really slow. Alright, wheels straight. This is why I don't drive a truck in real life, peeperinos. Oh, Jesus. Jesus, take the wheel. I wonder, because I've turned that off, I'm stuck here. Yes, I have to pay a penalty fee. I don't really care at this point. Alright, let's do another job. That was just ridiculous. Tijuana to San Luis Rio, Colorado. That sounds interesting. Let's do that. Load of tyres.
There are those who would like to see you fail in your journey. That's not going to happen on my watch. Let's go.
Where were you 5 minutes ago, Morgan Freeman? Were you taking a nap as I was trying to cross the US-Mexico border? Let's try it again. So we're leaving the same place. Turn right. I didn't understand why we were going back into America to stay somewhere in Mexico anyway. That I didn't understand. But let's go.
Continue straight.
That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
in 0.1 miles. Turn left.
Oh, this is that one where that guy hit me.
Turn left.
I was just about to turn in and the guy rammed me here. Oh, look at the kids at the skateboard park. That's cool.
Keep right. And then turn right. Turn right.
So we're going into America again. Let's see if we can actually get through it this time. Not going to lane 2. If we stay to the right hand side, there's automatic lanes. Lane 1 seemed to work, but I'm not going to take that risk. There's lanes I can just drive through. That's ridiculous. So let's see how we go this time, eh? And that's a reason why I don't reverse trailers, because I've never got the concept in my head of how to actually do it. I go much better in forwards than I do in reverse. And okay, so here we go. Border coming up. Now this time if we... Oh, that's an actual FedEx truck. So this time if I actually go towards the right... Have I picked a cash lane again? No, thank God. Oh, now... Look, the concrete just suspended in thin air. I know it's not perfect because it's a mod, but hey. Alright, there's the police. It's only $25 to get into America on the toll. So let's see, we continue straight now. So we got through this time, so that's good. Let's get some serious driving done. With our load of tyres. Now I believe there's a section of the Mexican map rather that's not available
Right. And then exit right.
because it's a mod and the game's only recently been updated
Right.
to a new version, so sometimes you got to get all the ducks in a row. Oh, there's a nice looking Amtrak train down there. So the only thing about not running the navigation on screen, like in the big exaggerated window, is that I can't tell how far it is to go, but I'm not constantly thinking about that anyway. So as I was trying to say earlier, I've been to Mexico City once. That was after I went to 70,000 tons of metal. And I went another time, actually on 70,000 tons of metal. We went to, wasn't Tijuana? I'd have to look back to 70,000 tons of metal, which is a heavy metal festival on a cruise ship, to see. Are we exiting here? No, we need to keep left. Thanks for the heads up, Morgan. Cancun? No, something like that. No, I don't think it was Cancun. I know one year we went to Turks and Caicos, but that's not Mexico. Because I went in 2013, 2014, and I was going to go 2015, but I couldn't travel internationally, so but Mexico City was a real eye-opener. I'd heard lots of stories about how violent Mexico City itself could be. And it was even on, like, okay, way station up here. I'd been on 70,000 tons of metal, and I was just looking for just a weekend or so, just a few days. Come on, Morgan, we're only going to the way station, mate. And I wanted to go to Mexico City. I was hoping to meet up with my Mexican lady friend that I met overseas in Amsterdam, but she was busy. She was busy at uni. No worries, see you. She was busy with her university studies, so she couldn't come down to see me, even though I flew halfway around the world to see her, but that wasn't meant to be, obviously. So I was absolutely wrecked after 70,000 tons of metal, and even on the way, like, I flew from Atlanta to Mexico City, and even on the plane, like, I had various people say, "Oh, don't go to Mexico City, it's so violent, blah, 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 blah." And even on the plane, one of the flight attendants was like, "I really don't think you should be going." But what I did, I made sure that I stayed in a quality venue. I stayed in the Hilton in Mexico City, which is not normally somewhere that I'd stay if I was traveling around Europe or America or Australia or whatever. But because I was in Mexico City, I felt that was good, and I made sure that I didn't go out at night, just to be on the safe side. The only real bit of trouble that I had, I was doing some street photography, and one guy got upset that I took his photo. Now, he was one of several people on the scene. There's a Sunday morning tradition in Mexico City where they basically open up the main streets for bike riders just to ride down. And so pedestrians can walk up and down there as well. So this guy absolutely cracked it at me. And in the end, I got the photo, and he made a bigger deal of it than what it should have been. I probably wouldn't have thought. Like, I took lots of photos that day, and I probably wouldn't have put any further thought into it. But because he made such a big deal about it, I remember that as one of my best photos of Mexico City because of the story behind it. But yeah, I didn't go out at night. I did catch the metro, and I went to some areas which, in hindsight, could have been considered a little bit shady, but they were only shady in the, you know, they had markets and all that sort of stuff. Like I never felt in any danger. Oh, that's gonna be bad. Oh, there's an accident up here. The police are out. Car's letting me through, thank you. CHP, you're getting the job done. Thank you. You got yourselves a speeder there, CHP. California Highway Patrol. Yeah, I'm glad I went. Am I in any hurry to go back to Mexico City? Not particularly. I remember the trip from the airport to the hotel. I got a taxi, and boy oh boy, that's the most scariest car ride of my life. Just no concern for his safety, my safety, anybody's on the road, and just the amount of traffic was just unbelievable. And it wasn't even like their peak time from memory, but that was pretty bad. Yeah, glad I didn't go out at night. I stuck to more of the, with the exception of the day that I got on the metro, I stuck to pretty much the, if I left the hotel room at all, like the first weekend that I got back from 70,000 tons of metal, I just didn't leave the hotel room. I got room service for every meal because I just didn't leave the hotel room for the weekend. And then it was a Sunday I went out, but for the first couple of days I just didn't leave the room. And El Centro. So because I'm using a new profile, every city's going to be a new discovery for me, because I'm not using my main profile where I'm level 10. I'm back to level 0 because I wanted to use this profile with the mods. I love these signs that say to Mexico, to Canada, that sort of stuff. Like the whole living on one side of the border to the other really fascinates me. The cities, keep left, thank you Morgan. The cities of Mexicali and Calexico. Basically, one's on one side of the US-Mexico border, one's on the other side. Calexico is the Californian side, and Mexicali is the Mexican side. But yeah, that sort of thing's fascinating to me. Another Mexico border story actually came when I was on Amtrak.
Right. And then
Oh jeez, I was lucky then. When I was on Amtrak, I was getting a train from LA to, the plan was to head directly down to Miami, from LA on the train to head to 70,000 tons of metal that was leaving from Miami. But because of Hurricane Katrina, which was in, I'd want to say 2006, 2007, maybe a bit later, but in that general area, the train line was still closed and no replacement offered between New Orleans and Miami. So to get to Miami by train from New Orleans, I basically had to go up via Washington DC and then back down, which added a couple of days to the trip, but mind you, I didn't care because I was on a train. So we were going from LA to New Orleans, spent about a week in New Orleans, and then I did the detour to DC and then down to Miami. First couple of days I was feeling rubbish, but I got better as the trip went on. Had a bit of food poisoning. So we're in Calexico. Speaking of Calexico, so we might get to go through Mexico as well. International truck border crossing. I like this.
Continue straight.
I like the look at this. So we're on the train and we were coming down to El Paso in Texas. And our carriage attendant, our passenger attendant, guns or ammo illegal in Mexico. I'm sure the Mexican cartels will keep that in mind. Just because a sign in America said that they're illegal. So coming into El Paso, Texas, which is basically on the border between Texas and Mexico. And our carriage attendant, Henry Ford, he was a really, really good bloke. And he, told lots of stories and made fun PA announcements and all of this sort of stuff. And his announcement coming into El Paso was basically something like, "Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we will soon be arriving into El Paso, Texas. On the right-hand side of the train, you may be able to see a massive fence. Beyond that fence is Mexico. We will be making a stop for supplies at El Paso for approximately half an hour. Do not think that you can go into Mexico and then come back in the time allowed. If you do try to get into Mexico, you may not make it back in time for our departure. If you miss the train because you've tried to enter Mexico, well then you will have to catch another train at your own expense." So we're entering Mexico again. So I like all this sort of stuff, crossing international borders. So yeah, his message was, do not try to enter Mexico in the short time. We have found from previous experience that you will not be able to enter Mexico and then come back into the US in the short time, the half an hour that will be on the platform. Just things like international border. Now, that partly is because of me being an Australian. It is very difficult to see an international border. Like you get on a plane at Sydney and you go to anywhere internationally, and it's just not this experience of crossing a land border. This experience is amazing. And then in reality, of course, you'd have to stop at all these checkpoints.
Keep left, and then turn left.
So we have re-entered Mexico. So by my calculation, we should be in Mexicali now. So as far as I know, on that trip, nobody did actually try to enter. I better not hit the police. That doesn't look like a Mexican police car. You know, as far as I know, nobody tried to enter Mexico on that trip, but it was really strange coming into El Paso, and you know, you hear of stories of the wall. I've seen a few documentaries, etc. The wall, the big fences, and all of that sort of stuff, and then to actually see it for yourself, you know, you can literally see into Mexico. Was amazing.
Keep left and then continue straight.
Mexicali, oi, out of me way, dickhead. So we're now in Mexicali.
Continue straight.
But I didn't have trouble entering Mexico that time, though. I went into Mexico City's airport. But I almost got arrested going into Canada, which was a whole total different kettle of fish. I'd read about the international peace park between Washington State and Canada on Interstate 5, and I'd seen that there's this huge memorial arch signifying the open border policy between the US and Canada. This was in 2009. So I've done lots of Googling and had a look at some images and all that sort of stuff, and so I got a basic lay of the land before I got there. And to add an attraction for me, there was also a train track that ran beside there, so I'm hoping that there might be a train that's there while I'm there. And I've gone up and parked. Where? Thank you.
Keep left and then turn left.
So I've gone up and parked.
Turn left.
But the mistake that I made was that I didn't take my passport with me, because I didn't think that I'd actually need my passport, because I wasn't actually intending to enter Canada at that point. As it turns out, there's a big no man's land section between the two borders, and the International Peace Park is basically in the middle of that no man's land. You've got the big International Peace Arch. It's a big massive arch, and you know, that signifies the actual international border between US and Canada at that point. But to my north was the Canadian border protection checkpoint, and then to the south was the American point. Now, as far as I was concerned, I was still in America. However, as far as Canadians were concerned, as soon as I passed that arch, I was actually in Canada, and my first job was supposed to be to report straight away to Canadian Customs and Border Protection, which I didn't, because as I said, as far as I was concerned, I was still in America. So, and I've done the whole Homer Simpson, I'm in America, I'm in Canada, I'm in America, I'm in Canada. So there was now they've probably got CCTV everywhere, but I took a photo from a distance of each of the border crossings, and my intention was to go back to the car and then enter Canada. But there was a Canadian border officer who was out having a smoke, and I swear he'd seen me on the cameras anyway, and he says for me to come over and see him. So he says, do you have
And then continue straight.
do you have your passport with you? And I said, no, as a matter of fact, I don't. It's
Continue straight. And then turn right. Turn right.
turn right here. Okay, Morgan Freeman, don't let me down now. And so I said, oh no, my passport's actually in my car, and I've pointed at my car. I had my wallet with me, which had my driver's license in it, but I didn't have my passport. So as far as he was concerned, I was an undocumented person without a passport. And so he says to me, do you know that you've actually committed a crime? You've actually entered Canada illegally. And I says, how can I have entered Canada? I haven't come to the border crossing except for when you asked me to. As far as I'm concerned, I haven't entered Canada yet. I haven't presented myself for inspection. And he says, well, as soon as you pass that point, and he points to the arches, the first thing you must do is report in to us to say, hey, Canada, I'm here. So I said to him, well, okay, well, can I just go and get my passport? I'm coming over anyway. Can I come over and say, hey, Canada, I'm here with my passport? And he says, well, no, the first thing you have to do now is go back to America, get back into America, and then get your passport, and then we'll decide if we're going to let you in or not. Now, mind you, I'd travelled up the west coast of America, and with the exception of San Francisco, I'd actually stayed with friends all the way along, so I hadn't checked into any hotels or anything like that, but I had stayed with friends all up down the the west coast, with the exception of San Francisco. I was on my way to Vancouver, but I hadn't actually booked anywhere yet. I was just going to see how far I could drive, pick a place, rest for the night, and it was the year before the 2010 Winter Olympics, so Vancouver was pretty much a construction zone, so I didn't know where I was going. So he says, well, first of all, you have to go back to America, and hopefully they'll let you back in. And then what you are to do after that is up to us. But I had to sign a form, with my name on it, and it said date of birth unknown, country of residence unknown, even though it had that on my driver's license that he didn't recognise and wouldn't recognise because it wasn't my passport. So for him, my laminated out of state, out of country driver's license didn't mean a thing to him. So he says, I agree to leave Canada without delay. So I left Canada without delay. I headed back to the US side and waited in line there and said to the US guy, my passport is in my car over there on top of the hill where all your guys' cars parked. My passport is in my car there. Canada says that I have to present myself to you and show you my passport, which I'm quite happy to do. That's a toll. So I'm quite happy to do it, but I just need permission to go over to my car and do it. So he says, give me your license, and come back. So I came back, showed him the passport, gave him my license back, and it was all sweet. And I said, what do you think are my chances of getting into Canada now? And he says, well, that's up to Canada to decide, but as far as we're concerned, we've let you back into the States. So it could have been entirely possible that I'd entered Canada officially for like 10 minutes and potentially not been allowed back in. So I've got in my car and I've headed off, and because they were doing road work near the border, I actually couldn't get from where my car was parked back to that border protection entry point. I had to go to another one. I had to drive about 5 miles to the east. So I had to follow all these signs saying roadwork, Canada border this way. So I got to another San Luis Rio, Colorado discovered. So I got to this other border checkpoint about 5 miles to the east of the one that I originally tried to get into. And the guy calls me in and he says, have you entered Canada recently? And I says, well, define entered Canada. Because we had a bit of a disagreement. I don't think that I did. He says that I did. And so I got the usual border security questions. Where are you going? Vancouver. Have you booked anywhere to stay in Vancouver? No. What are your plans after this? Well, my plans are to go back into America, and I'm travelling coast to coast. I've got things planned in the middle. I've got things planned on the east coast. But while I was here, I was going to drop into Canada because I'm from Australia and we don't get over here that often. It's actually my first trip overseas. And so he says, well, okay, you can come in. So I was allowed eventually into Canada. That whole process probably took an hour.
Keep right. Turn right.
Which compared to some situations,
turn right.
That was pretty lucky. Now, when I've tried to enter the US the next time, I've tried to enter the US. I've been to Vancouver. I've been to Vancouver at this stage for a few days. I've travelled 300 or so miles to the east and to the southeast. And we have, at long last, arrived.
It's been my honor and duty to see you through this mission.
Thank you, Morgan. Alright. We'll skip the parking for fairly obvious reasons. Excellent. 212 miles driven, 7 hours 21. And I'm now halfway down level 1. Unassigned skill points. Long distance, please. Beautiful. I'll just finish this story and then we'll end the episode. So I've come through this one-horse border town, entering the US from Canada. And it was really weird because back in 2009, I'd taken over a satellite navigation, a navman, but I lost the memory card. So my mate Shauno, hello Shauno if you're watching, we tried to get a memory card in California, couldn't get one to fit it, so I just brought a whole new navman, and hopefully that would work. But what I didn't know at the time, and it's probably changed since, and I didn't use my phone for navigation or anything at this time. In America, it was fine. When I entered Canada, as soon as I entered Canada, it was just a whole grey area because there was no Canada map on the system. So as soon as I entered Canada, it was just a whole grey area, and it says, please return to nearest road. Mind you, I was in Canada the whole time, but the system didn't know that. So I've come back into this one-horse border checkpoint town, you know, and probably the only reason for the town being there is that there's an international border there. So the American Customs and Border Protection guy says to me, boy, why are you doing Australia? And I said to him, oh, I drive trains. He says, boy, you guys are an island. Why you need trains? I says, mate, we're a big island, you know. We're about as big as the continental US. He says, boy, what sort of trains you drive? And so I said, oh, basically, you know, the New York subway. I basically drive the Australian version of that. So from then on, I learnt that if I was talking to an American about the types of trains that I drive, I just tell them that I'm a subway driver, because otherwise they think that I might drive for Amtrak or Union Pacific or whatever. So, yeah, this guy thought that Australia didn't need trains because we're an island. Anywho, I'm Simulator Dirk. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you have enjoyed, and we will see you next time. We will continue our journey. Where are we going? We should really work that out. We are, where are we now? We'll work it out by origin again. Yes. San Luis Rio, Colorado. Oh, that's a Mexican city, so we'll head there. Ensenada, we'll head there, because we don't want to particularly head back to San Diego. Let's see the next page. What's the next page got on offer? Because I do want to head basically east. So no, that's going south. I don't want to go south. Don't want to go back to San Diego. That's going backwards. Ensenada, as far as I'm concerned, that's going backwards the direction which I came. San Felipe is basically going to the south. Santa Ana. Yes, we'll take that job. And that's what we'll be doing on the next episode. I'm Simulator Dirk. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
There are those who would like to see you fail in your journey. That's not going to happen on my watch. Let's go.
Can we stop for ice cream, Bart? Can we stop for ice cream? Oh, it's the Max! Ho 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 ho! The Portland Light Rail system, the Max, and that's what it actually looks like. How sweet! So end of May, June, July, and now we're into August, so...
That was the longest night of my life.